Good day and welcome back to another Dbz Dokkan battle video. In this video we're going to be taking a look at the Super Elite Super Strike event for Vegeta. So this is the latest Super Strike revamp. I think we're pretty much nearing the end of these, which is a shame because these were great. I think they're really awesome and they drop a lot of rewards. But essentially this is the process of acquiring Vegeta. So you copy the SR copies of Vegeta, drop from stage 1. You will then farm medals from stage 2 to awaken him into a UR state. You will then farm medals from stage 3 to awaken him to a TUR state. And then from stage 4, you will be able to Extreme Z awaken him. Now, Earthbred fighters have a bonus for the stage. The final stage, he does a very strong super attack that has a countdown in the Easy A stage, and overall it's just a pretty interesting kind of final boss fight. You can use any characters here, there's no limitations, you don't have to use event exclusive characters, etc. You can just kind of roll with whatever you want. It's not that big a deal. Now Vegeta looks pretty good, I want to say. I think for me Vegeta looks quite solid as a character. I think overall he's really quite interesting and quite good. I do think at the end of the day there is always the question of where do Super Strikes fit in, what team does he fit on, and I think Saiyan Saga Vegeta is one of those ones where maybe his team is a bit wonky. So how it works is the missions are pretty straightforward. What you're going to want to do is you're going to want to farm yourself at least 15 copies of Vegeta from this first stage, and because you get one from the missions, that means you're going to want to farm 14 copies. Generally speaking, going a full tech team is the way to go here. Remember that the rarity of the units that you use does affect the overall drop rate of the rewards. So if you're looking to maximize the amount of rewards you get, you can use higher rarity characters, but you can also use items like a Oolong support memory or a Bullet and Vegeta support memory. So there's plenty of ways to augment your drop rates. You are looking for 14 of the SR copies of Vegeta. That is what you're going to be farming the stage for. It is a little bit of a grind this stage because there's a big map and there's a lot of auto battle or stop battles, which makes auto battling take a while. So you're going to want to just kind of let this one roll on auto battle. You're not really going to want to do too much. It's a very simple fight. It's one phase. It's nothing too crazy. It's very easy. So there's nothing really too much to say there. So yeah, just farm the stage essentially until you have the 14 copies of Vegeta that you need, because we are going to be making, the 15 copy, well, the 14 plus the one from the missions, because we are going to be making 2 copies of Vegeta. We're going to have 1 copy of Vegeta that is at max SA level, SA 10, and we're then going to have a second copy of Vegeta that is at SA 5. And the reason for this is because eventually when Super Strikes awaken, they get a 15 SA, and then we'll get enough copies from the missions to raise them to 20 SA. So make sure that you have the 2 copies. You'll see both of mine are pretty much 10. That's just because I got a very good bonus drop. But the next step is to farm the awakening medals. Now these are to awaken the unit to a UR state. This is not their TUR state, this is their UR state. So it's not a full Dokkan awakening. You get these from stage 2. The same rules apply. You're going to want to have the correct bonus. You can use Oolong support memories, etc. You can use Bullet and Vegeta GT. You can use plenty of tools. We're just going to take a team and complete this again. Super duper simple stage. There is nothing here that is rocket science. The stage is very, very easy. Bring your highest rarity team that you can and get as many drops as you can. The shorter this takes, or the higher your drop, the easier the stage, the just easier everything is. This fight is 2 phases, so it can be a little bit longer, but it is not more difficult. It is still a ridiculously easy fight, so there's not too much that you need to do here. Now, you need 7 medals from here, so you're going to need 14 in total, because you need to awaken both copies of Vegeta. That is because only by awakening Vegeta does his SA go to 15, and then if you don't awaken the other one, you won't have a 100% chance of raising his SA to 15. So it's very important that you have both copies awakened here. So you're going to need 14 of his medals in total, which is obviously very, very crucial to making sure that you have the copies you need. So now we come to the most crucial part, essentially, of the video, I guess. You're going to awaken both units. Now it's very important that you focus when you do, because when you awaken both units, you're going to complete a mission that gives you 5 copies of Vegeta. So by awakening Vegeta to his TUR state, a mission will complete within the event that will give you 5 copies of Vegeta. It is super important that you use these 5 separate copies of Vegeta to open his hidden path potential system first. So make sure that you open Vegeta's hidden potential system first, then afterwards you can train him and max out his SA. Make sure that you do all of this first. It's super duper crucial to making sure that you get the mission order complete. Otherwise, what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to go back and farm an additional copy of Vegeta and then put that additional copy into your hidden potential system, which can be a little bit of a pain. So basically, as you can see, we get to claim some mission rewards. Basically what we want to do now is you want to open up his hidden potential path. It's basically going to be a very, very straightforward system, and from this point onwards, the real thing that you kind of want to evaluate is obviously making sure you do everything in the right order. So like I say, open Vegeta's hidden potential paths first. Then once you've done that, you can train Vegeta and use your second copy that you've made, that's at SA5, to max out his SA, and then you should be left with exactly, after completing all those missions and collecting all the event rewards, you should be left with 1 Vegeta that has all his paths open and his SA15, and 5 copies of Vegeta. So you should, in theory, be able to make another SSR copy of Vegeta at 5 SA, and this guy's going to come in handy when we do his EZA. Now, in terms of the next step is to farm the TUR medals, so the TUR awakening medals. Farming these medals is, again, a process. You need 10 medals to awaken 1 Vegeta to his final TUR state. To do this, you are going to need to farm it twice. So we need 20 medals, because again, we have 2 Vegetas, and again, when we EZA Vegeta, his SA level is going to go from 15 to 20, and we need to apply the second Vegeta to increase it from 15 to 20. So we are going to need to basically do that, and it should be pretty simple. Now, the actual fight itself is incredibly easy and super quick. It is 1 phase, super duper quick, really, really simple, and there's not a lot going on, so it doesn't take you long. I think anything beyond the first 2 stages, or even the first stage, doesn't take that long, because the medals don't take nearly as long or have as much variance in the drop rate as the actual characters do. But yes, in theory, you should be able to finish the stage, and then from there you should essentially be pretty much good to go. So remember, you need 20 of these medals to awaken Vegeta. Once you have those, you will awaken both Vegetas. So you should have 1 copy of Vegeta at SA5 and another copy of Vegeta at SA15, with all of his hidden potential paths open. After that point, basically, once you've done that, you're then ready to take on the final step of the event and get the Extreme Z Awakening medals, which are obviously super duper important in determining, or basically bringing Vegeta to a marketably usable level. So hopefully that's all pretty clear. It can be quite difficult, so feel free to leave comments. We'll take a look now at the team build for the final section, and then we'll just kind of take things from there and see how they go. But essentially, the most important thing at this point is to have 2 copies of Vegeta, 1 SA10, all paths open, second one SA5. If you've done that, SA15 and SA5. If you've done that, then you should be realistically good to go, and we can then move into the Extreme Z Awakening section. So now, with the final stage where you get the Extreme Z Awakening medals, there are some challenges, and completing these will essentially reduce the amount of time it takes for you to farm this. So if you do all the missions, you should only have to do the stage 3 times in total. One of the missions is to have a Goku, a baseline Goku in this team, Kaioken Goku. It's pretty straightforward. The second one is to have 6 Earthbred fighters, which you should realistically have been doing anyway because you've been completing or boosting your chances of drops from the beginning. And then the final one is to complete the stage under a set number of turns. Now this isn't too bad. I brought a tech-centric team and then brought along Tech World Tournament Goku, who tended to carry the event quite hard, especially in terms of damage, defense, just pretty much all outputs. Now Vegeta does do a pretty strong super attack in the final phase. You can avoid this either through nullification with World Tournament Goku, or alternatively you can bring evasion as well. But generally speaking, if you bring a full tech team of decent strength, you beat him usually before that point in time occurs. So generally speaking, it was quite a easy process to actually defeat Vegeta once we got past the int phase, which can take a while, but then Goku tends to carry us through that portion. So World Tournament Goku kind of does his own thing, and then everything is quite controlled and quite, under wraps from there. I will say from my side, taking a look at this Extreme Z stage, I think overall it's actually fairly quite simple and straightforward. I think honestly it was a fairly acceptable level of difficulty. You can attack lower, which does help as well, especially in the int phase. Attack lowering does tend to give you a little bit more of an advantage and the ability to kind of just control how much damage you're taking, which I think personally for me is a good sign because it could be quite frustrating. Now overall, I think Vegeta also gives you plenty enough time to defeat him. He takes around about till late into the second turn to fire off his attack, which usually, especially if you're bringing a friend World Tournament Goku, means that most times you end up taking him out quite quickly. So it's not that big a deal, but of course it is important. And if you're going for the speed challenge, obviously DPS is key, but the category challenges are just as important. So focus on those because it does cut your time down. I mean, running the stage 3 times instead of 6 times, it saves time and stamina, and just overall it just feels better to me. So yeah, definitely something I would say or ask for you guys to consider is to make sure that you get all of those done. But yeah, that's kind of it. Vegeta's EZA looks very interesting. He's got evasion, he's got some interesting mechanics, he's got key related mechanics, definitely a second slot unit. So we'll see just how good he is. I think overall it could be quite an interesting conversation to have. Super Strikes generally don't let me down too much. Not that they're broken, but they tend to be alright units and some of the better free-to-play ones. Only issue is their link set can sometimes be a bit wonky. But we'll take a look at Vegeta, see how good we can get him. As you can see, we've completed a ton of missions, so we will now be proceeding with Awakening our good old Vegeta, and basically Extreme Z awakening him, which is quite important. But yeah, overall, honestly, I'd say it's been a pretty straightforward Super Strike as always, and I think by now most players should have a gist of what's happening with the Super Strike. Of course, it can be confusing, and if you are struggling, feel free to pick up some free-to-play units. However, please use a team that's appropriate for you. You don't have to use free-to-play units. You can just use normal, really strong teams and clear this without any ease or difficulty as well. That's it from me. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Till then, take care, stay safe, and as always, thanks for watching. And just a heads up as well, obviously, big incentive is the stones and mission rewards, and just in general, like the kind of rewards that you get for a Super Strike. And so I just want to say that obviously if you even don't want to use Vegeta, you don't have to, but try and at least get the stones for Extreme Z awakening him, because it will give you good rewards.